Understanding drink service. In this lesson, we'll take a look at the flow of drink service and how it fits in with the dining experience. The service of drinks is a vital part of delivering stellar service. As much as guests will visit your establishment for delicious dishes, they are also there to enjoy the flavors offered by the drinks, the gentle bubbles in the champagne, the tangy sweetness of a cocktail, or the complex tastes of good wine. To ensure this, you must see to it that the guests are never left thirsty, or have to ask you for a top-up or refill. You must be observant of the guest's behavior and keep an eye on each guest's glass. The sequence discussed here isn't set in stone, and obviously guests will order an array of different drinks at different times. But similar to a menu sequence, this list is a guideline as to how guests commonly enjoy different types of drinks. We'll be looking at water service, aperitifs, wine, and digestives. Let's start with water service. The most regular drink service that you will deliver during the dining experience is the service of water, whether still, sparkling, or tap water. Water service is often the first service delivered to guests, and by offering the guest water immediately, they will feel welcome and looked after. Providing water service throughout service will ensure that guests always have something to drink. Now let's move on to aperitifs. An aperitif is the name for a pre-meal drink that stimulates the guest's appetite for the meal ahead. Common examples include champagne, martinis, and gin and tonics. An aperitif is usually served before the meal, as the guest arrives, and must be offered to the guest within 2 minutes. Let's move on to wine. Wine is an infinitely complex product. Both white and red wines contain a multitude of layered flavors that differ from wine to wine and over time. Because it is such an intricate product, it is often enjoyed with food. The flavors in the wine bring out and change the flavors in the dish, and vice versa. The taste of the food complements the flavors in the wine. Similarly, lighter wines, such as crisp white wines, are often paired with lighter meals, such as fish, chicken, or salad. Heavier dishes, such as red meat dishes, are paired with bolder, heavier wines, such as aged red wines. This means that throughout a meal with multiple courses, white wines are usually served with the lighter meals earlier in the menu. Guests will then move on to wines with stronger flavors, the red wines. Lastly, let's finish off with digestives. A digestif is an after-meal drink, which is meant to help with digestion. Some popular examples of digestives include brandy, whiskey, creamy liqueurs, or port. Drinks such as these provide a beautiful ending to round off a beautiful meal and complement dessert. So, the 4 categories of drinks we looked at in this lesson are water, aperitifs, wine, and digestives. In the rest of the course, we'll be looking at some of these points in greater detail, but well done on getting a better understanding of drink service overall and how it fits in with the dining experience. Water service. Let's take a look at the service of water. In this lesson, we'll be discussing the purpose of water service, types of water, and providing water service. Firstly, the purpose of water service. Water service is one of the first services that is offered to guests, and so sets the tone for the entire dining experience. By offering water to guests soon after they are seated, they immediately feel welcome and looked after. Now let's look at types of water. Water can either be bottled or tap water. Bottled water will either be still or sparkling, but some guests might prefer tap water. Bottled water is usually charged for, while tap water isn't. Whether guests are drinking still water, sparkling water, or tap water, you should make sure that you remember their preference so that you can serve them their preferred type of water every time without having to ask. Lastly, let's look at providing water service. Water should be offered to guests within 2 minutes of their being seated. For example, Mrs. Reynolds, may I offer you some still or sparkling water? Because bottled water is usually purified and refrigerated, it isn't served with ice, unless the guest specifically requests it. Some guests might also request some lemon or mint with their water. Throughout service, you should keep an eye on the guests' water glasses and top up when they get empty. If guests are paying for bottled water and the bottle is finished, you should ask the host before you open another bottle. It is terrible service to keep opening bottles, only for the guests to be horrified when they see their bill at the end of the evening. So, to recap, in this lesson we looked at the purpose of water service, types of water, and providing water service. Good luck providing water service professionally to all your guests. Bar terminology. When ordering drinks, guests may use some strange language that you may not have heard before. Often, these words describe how they would like their drink served. Let's take a look at some commonly used terms guests will use when ordering drinks. On the rocks. If the guest orders whiskey on the rocks or a brandy on ice, serve the spirit only with ice. Long drink. A long drink is a spirit, such as a vodka or whiskey, served in a tall, highball glass, usually with lots of ice, and filled to the top with a mixer, such as lemonade or soda water. Double. When a guest orders a double of a spirit or cordial, such as a double vodka or a double lime and water, the guest would like 2 tots or shots of the spirit or cordial. Single. Similarly, a single means that the guest would like 1 tot of the spirit or cordial. Neat or straight. If a guest orders a spirit neat or straight, they would like the spirit served as is, with no ice, water, or mixer. G&T. Guests who order a G&T would like a gin and tonic. Spritzer. A spritzer is a combination of white wine and soda water. Think of the spritz sound the soda makes when you open it. So, imagine a guest says that they would like a single G&T as a long drink. What should you bring them? A gin and tonic with 1 tot of gin in it, served in a tall glass with ice. And if they order a double whiskey on the rocks, what would they like? That would be 2 shots of whiskey on ice. Well done if you got this. Are there any other terms you don't understand? Or others you didn't understand in the past? Be sure that if the guest uses terms you don't understand, that you find out from a colleague immediately, and also share these terms with your other colleagues who may be new to service. If you ever hear a word you do not know, make sure you write it down carefully on the docket and ask someone back of house if they know what it means. If they do not, make sure you ask the guest rather than bringing out the wrong drink. When in doubt, always ask. Taking a drinks order. In this lesson, we'll be looking at how to take an order for drinks such as soft drinks, beer, and spirits. The skills involved in taking a wine order are more advanced and so will be covered later. In this lesson, we'll be looking at language and style, taking a soft drinks order, taking a beer order, and taking a spirits or mixed drink order. Let's start right at the beginning with language and style. Remember that in service, it's not just about what you say, but also how you say it. When taking a drinks order, don't just walk up to the table and ask, "What do you want to drink?" Rather, go up to each guest and position yourself somewhere where the guest can see you comfortably. Then lean forward slightly and ask the guest if you may take their drink order. For example, "Mrs. Rogers, are you ready to place your drink order?" Or, "Mr. Adams, may I take your drink order?" It is very important that you listen actively to what the guest orders, since they often provide you with all the information you need to take their order when they place it. For example, the brand of the drink, whether they would like ice, or if they want it in a specific glass. Now let's look at taking a soft drink order. Soft drinks, such as Coke or juice, are relatively simple, but guests may still have specific preferences about the amount of ice and the garnish they prefer. For example, if a guest orders a Coke, you should ask, "Would you like ice and lemon with that?" Keep it as a single question, wasting less of the guest's time. Make sure that you know which soft drinks are commonly served with garnishes so that you can ask the guest their preference. For example, Coke with lemon or lime, or cranberry juice with mint. Let's move on to taking a beer order. If the guest orders a beer, it will probably be served from a bottle or can. If perchance the guest doesn't specify the brand of beer, such as Peroni or Heineken, you should ask the guest which brand they would like. If that beer is available on tap as a draft, you should confirm whether the guest would like a draft or bottle of the brand. For example, "Mr. Roberts, would you like a Peroni draft or a bottle?" Lastly, let's finish off with taking a spirits or mixed drink order. When it comes to spirits, such as whiskey, rum, vodka, or brandy, guests have very specific preferences about how they would like to enjoy it. A spirit can be enjoyed on its own, with some water or ice, or with a mixer, such as tonic water. Either way, you will find that no two guests are alike. Some might like lots of ice and soda water with their whiskey, while others may ask for a whiskey with 3 blocks of ice and no water. Most guests will also have their favorite brand of the spirit, and it is important that you find out this information from them. Spirits vary greatly in price, from the house pour to very expensive brands, and if you prepare a guest's order in the wrong way, it can be very unpleasant and costly for you and the guests. So, if a guest orders a vodka and tonic, we know that they ordered a spirit, vodka, with a mixer, tonic. But you need more information to serve them exactly what they want. Let's take a look at the 5 questions to ask if the guest didn't specify. Which brand of vodka would you prefer? For example, the guest might want the house pour or a specific brand, such as Grey Goose or Absolute Vodka. This can also influence the garnish the drink is served with. Would you like a single or a double tot of vodka? This determines the strength of the drink. Which type of glass would you prefer? The guest may want the spirit served in a short glass, in a long glass with room for lots of ice, or a brandy balloon, to better appreciate the aromas. Would you like ice with your drink? Guests may want to drink the spirit neat or with only a few cubes of ice, so you should never assume that they drink it with a glass full of ice. Lastly, which garnish would you like? The guest may want the drink with a slice of lemon or with some orange rind. While this question will apply to most spirits with mixes, more expensive aged spirits such as whiskey, cognac, aged rum, aged tequila, and brandy are usually not served with a garnish. Ask these questions every time you take a spirit or a mixed drink order. But remember, as with still or sparkling water, once we know how a guest likes that drink to be served, you must remember for next time, so we don't have to ask them the same questions again. Use your drinks docket if you're unsure. So, to recap, the 4 points in taking a drinks order are language and style, taking a soft drink order, taking a beer order, and taking a spirit or mixed drink order. Good luck serving your guests like a professional.